I'm having all of these amazing alternatives opening up a world for me, which I'm loving. So this is to really pass on to other people, to show you that there are ways of doing things if you are, for instance, allergic to dairy, if you want to lower your cholesterol, if your doctor says, oh, no, don't do dairy or cut down on your dairy. There are ways of making things that are delicious that you don't have to make sacrifices for. And I think that's the most important thing, is that you don't have to make any kind of sacrifice to have delicious food. Okay, and I want to show you alternative ways of doing that. So today what I'm going to be doing is making pudding. Now I'm using cashews. One of the reasons that I like to use cashews as opposed to any other kind of nut or nut milk is that they are a soft nut, and they really emulsify when you put them in the blender. As opposed to almonds. Almonds are a harder nut, so you get pulp in them, all right? And they it may not do as good a job as what the cashews do. You can use almonds in what I'm making, but you're going to have to make a thicker cream rather than a thinner milk with the almonds. Okay? So that's something to remember. Now, can you use other nuts and seeds? Yes. In fact, one time I believe I made a pumpkin seed milk, which you had tasted.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't bad.
Yeah, we talked about having that in my coffee and trying to get rid of some of the...
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you can use things like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. You can also make milks out of those, and they're fairly soft as well.
Okay.
So they're going to be emulsified when you put them into the blender too. Okay? Now, what we're doing today is making this, oh, wait, one more thing. I'm not soaking my cashews, okay? When you soak your cashews, they absorb a lot of liquid and they get soft, okay? But that's not going to firm up your pudding. So we do not soak the cashews. I put them in just raw, and I use raw pieces. And what happens is with that, between the cashews and the chia seeds, there's a lot of liquid that's absorbed so that it firms up and you get a nice pudding-like texture. Now you can make it as creamy as you want by using maybe a little bit more cashews, using less chia, using more water. And you may have to play with this at home, okay, in doing this. Don't worry about it. When you put it into the refrigerator, if it has a little bit of, if it pours but a little thick, that's okay, because it will firm up in the refrigerator. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have approximately a cup of nuts, a big cup of nuts. You know me. And you know how important measuring is.
Yes, we just kind of...
And I'm going to give you guidelines here. So you're going to have to discover what is good for you and what makes you happy and what you're doing, okay? For me, I like a thicker pudding, so I tend to use maybe a little less water. And remember, you can always add, but you can't take it out once you put it in there, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in approximately, I don't know, probably I'm going to start with about a half a cup of water.
So just enough to kind of cover what you've got?
Yeah, just enough, because that's going to give it's going to give your nuts a run for the money in there. Now, I'm going to use a tiny pinch of Himalayan salt. I have vanilla powder here, and I'm going to put a little pinch of vanilla powder. Yes, you can use vanilla flavoring if you like. Make sure you use a good quality vanilla flavoring if you're going to use an extract. Okay, I think that's important. When I use an extract, I think I usually use the Tahitian or Madagascar ones. But, you know, it's important to use a good quality. Okay, this is vanilla powder, which is very expensive, but I do go through a lot of it, so I buy it in bulk. Okay, now, the last ingredient, this is sugarless. I am using stevia.
I didn't know stevia was green.
It's a plant. It grows in my garden. It is green.
Huh.
This is my stevia.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, you're not kidding. Stevia is very sweet.
Yes.
Very, very sweet, kids, okay? So, again, this is something where you're going to start with a little bit. You can always add, but you can't take it out. And if you make it too sweet, it's going to taste icky.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to put approximately 1/8 of a teaspoon in there, maybe even a little bit less, okay?
So this is our recipe.
But I also have a different kind of stevia that I use on occasion too. I know not everybody can grow their own, but I do use the sweet leaf stevia as well sometimes.
Little
so that's
liquid.
something that you can do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to blend this up, and I'm going to show you how to add the chia seeds to this, and the chia seeds will help it to thicken up. So we'll get to that in our next segment.
All right, that sounds perfect. We'll give everybody your website if you would like more information or great tips. Go to rawchefjane.com.